back. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be a reading for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week of November 29th through to December the 5th. Okay, so we are going to start by selecting an oracle card for Libra, and we will save that for the end of your reading. Okay, now let's jump into the tarot cards right away and see what messages we have for Libra as they move through their week. Now keep in mind that there is a solar eclipse happening on December the 4th, which will be bringing sort of this year's last opportunity to really close out some chapters that no longer serve. Solar eclipse is a very sort of powerful energy of taking action to sort of close out or surrender things that no longer serve us, and to prepare almost for new chapters, new actions, new motivations, new intentions. Very interesting time. So let's jump in here for Libra to see what messages, oops, that was on the bottom, what messages we received for Libra. Two of Wands to start off the reading. So that says to me that Libra is in the sort of phases of beginning a new plan, and you're looking for partners. You're wondering who to partner up with. You could be co-creating with spirit. You could be co-creating with another person. Let's keep reading to find out. But it's a very interesting time where you're sitting in a creative partnership energy, where you're sort of trying to understand how you're going to formulate the first sort of initial phase of something, right? Like, how will you bring form to this idea that you have? Keeping in mind that the ace is usually sort of a raw inspiration that you receive intuitively. And now the Two of Wands is really where we start to understand how we're going to influence or plan this expression, right? Now, what's blocking you is the Seven of Swords, okay? So the Seven of Swords is a time of deception. So that makes me wonder if whether or not you're deceiving yourself, or whether or not there is deception around you, which is sort of creating an obstacle for you to make a partnership, because maybe you don't trust. Perhaps there is something around you, a vibe that you're not trusting, and so you're almost hesitating here to pull the trigger on something because you're not quite sure if you can trust the energy around you. And maybe you're hesitating on creating a partnership or creating any sort of collaboration right now because you're distrustful. You feel like there's dishonesty afoot here. Now, the Emperor is top of mind, law and order. So that makes sense. If you're really focused on sort of the idea of being accountable and being very much the driver, the person who is moving this scenario forward, who are you going to partner with is top of mind for you. And I feel like you're operating from a place where you don't trust anyone, Libra. You're feeling like you can't trust the people around you that would be your partners. You're having a hard time with trust. And it's challenging your ability to even conceive of partnership. I feel like you're thinking, if I want this to get done, I'm going to be the one to do it. This is very Aries energy. So it's very much an independent solo authority here, which is intriguing because you receive the Two of Wands. So let's see what's driving this. What's driving this is the Eight of Cups, which is a time of shift and change and going into the unfamiliar. So as we were sort of talking at the beginning of this reading, we were talking about the solar eclipse coming in to sort of allow us time to sort of button up things and close things out so that we can begin new things. And I feel like that's exactly what's being expressed here, is that the Eight of Cups is a time where you've got to shift. It's none of these cups serve you anymore. This octopus hanging on to all of these cups needs to just let go, because otherwise it can't swim. How is it going to swim if it's hanging on to all these cups? And none of these cups have any value to you anymore. Emotionally, you have moved past these, or you are moving past these. And that is what's driving your reading. That is what's driving the reading, where you're looking around for a way to sort of make plans and have influence in a situation then, and you're sort of contemplating the idea of partnership. But I think a big part of you is like, if I want to get this done, I'm going to do it by myself, with that Emperor energy. And that is coming from sort of a place of distrust. You don't trust the people around you. Now, we see the Ace of Cups as being the recent past energy, which was a time where something new began. So there may have been a relationship or some new beginning that you took with a partner that began in the recent past, and now you're re-looking at this partnership and saying, I don't know if I trust it. Frankly, like, I'm being frank here, Libra. So if you're in a partnership, you've got some doubts about whether or not you can trust this individual. Or if you're a single Libra, maybe a relationship in the past taught you not to trust in the future, right? Like if you're single right now, it could be because something that started in the past ended with some sort of deception. And now you've got this attitude of like, well, I'm not going to let that happen again. 8 of Cups. I'm going to go move forward, and I'm going to do so on my own. Forget having a partner. I can't trust any of the people around me right now. So this is interesting, Libra. This is very interesting. Now, moving into the future, we see the 6 of Pentacles. And the 6 of Pentacles is Aquarian energy here. So it's sort of a time where you're looking to strike a balance between give and receive. I think you feel that in the partnerships you've had so far, the ones that you're feeling a lack of trust here, or dishonesty, I think it's because you feel you can't trust the other person to shoulder the responsibilities with you. You're feeling like you have to do it all by yourself. And moving forward in the future, you want balance in give and receive. You don't want to be taking all the time, and you don't want to be giving all the time. You want this partnership to be in balance, right? You want a true partnership. You don't want to live in a dictatorship, and you don't even want to live in a situation where you're the one in charge all the time, although you're starting to see that maybe that's the only option for you because of this lack of trust. But ideally, I think if you did trust this individual, you would want, or actually, let me rephrase that. I think the way that this trust will be built is if you start to see a balance in the give and receive. So that's interesting. Balance is going to be necessary in order for you to trust this person. Otherwise, I feel like you're going to walk away. You're going to walk away. 8 of Cups. You're going to move into the unfamiliar and walk away if you don't see an effort towards balance with respect to who's always responsible, who's always left holding all the responsibilities in the family, right? Now, your inner dialogue is the Hanged Man, where you're waiting, right? I feel like you're waiting to see if this individual is trustworthy or not, and whether or not you're just going to walk away and be the solo emperor and just run the show by yourself. So you're in a holding pattern right now. Your inner dialogue is like, well, I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see whether or not this partnership can be trusted or not, and whether or not I can re-establish trust by seeing a balance in the give and take in this relationship, because you don't right now, which is causing you to feel that dishonesty vibe from whoever your partner is now, or in the idea of forming a partnership if you're single. Interesting. Your outer dialogue is the Tower. Yeah, you know this can't go on. You know you need to see a big shift. And that is a theme in the 8 of Cups, and is a big theme in the Tower card, is this idea of stepping into the unfamiliar because the current situation is an illusion, is expressed by the Tower. So you're needing to release anything that is an illusion so that you can enlighten yourself, right? So that you can see the truth and live in a more sort of more authentic environment, where I feel right now it's not authentic. You don't trust it. You don't trust it. And so the outwardly part of yourself is ready to take down the Tower if you don't see balance in the family unit. You're ready. You're ready to just be like, I'm outie then. I'll go do this by myself. I'll go be the emperor on my own and step into the unfamiliar because forget it. You know, I don't trust this person to be my Two of Wands, right? Or I don't trust people, right? Depending on where you're at, because this is a general reading. Now, your hopes and your fears are all wrapped up in this Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, this has to do with family. I really think that this is a reading for a Libra who's in a relationship, or a Libra who was recently burned in a relationship and is hesitant to start a new one. Because you've got your hopes and fears are wrapped up in this idea of a content family unit, this Ten of Pentacles, this prosperous family where you feel you feel not only prosperous with one another, but that there's a commitment that you can rely on, right? It's stable. And I think that's what you want, but you don't see it as being possible with the person that you're thinking about right now. Whoever your person is, you're doubting their ability to be an equally contributing partner. And you're almost feeling like you could get the job done on your own, right, Libra? Very interesting. But that ultimately you do want a secure, stable, committed relationship, Ten of Pentacles. And it's a family, right? Like this isn't just dating. This is a family. You are thinking about the current partner or a future prospective partner, but a partner, not just like a fling. This is about establishing something sustainable and committed. And Six of Swords, yeah, you might need to get some distance from this to see it clearly. I feel like you're not going to trust this person until you heal, right? 7 and 6. So the trust is the obstacle. You don't trust them. You see dishonesty. You see a perversion of the truth. You see manipulation, right? You don't trust this. Healing. You might not trust it because of something that happened in the past. And so or it might be something that's happening right before your eyes. You are the only one that will know, Libra, but ultimately you need to move on from this in one way or another. Either you move on, you actually move on, like you're not with this person anymore, or you move on from the idea and work towards forgiveness, potentially, and understanding this person's true intentions, because maybe the Seven of Swords is just the way you see them. It's interesting. This is going to be different for every Libra, but ultimately, I feel like for some of you, this is going to involve a big shift where maybe you're not with this person or you don't choose them, right? If you're single. For others of you, I think it's going to involve healing, the Six of Swords. So getting some distance from the way you look at this. So your perspective changing, discovering a new truth, right? Understanding that shifting your emotions and perspective are the only way to move forward. But you know, a lot of you are just in a holding pattern and you're like, well, let's wait and see. I feel like this Hanged Man relates to people that are in a marriage. Like for the Libras that are in a relationship or a marriage and they're trying to decide if this is the partner for them moving forward. I think some of you have said, I'm going to give it some time and we'll see. And we'll see if they can balance things out. Maybe I'll start to trust them again. Maybe. And for some of you, this is all just hypothetical in the sense of like, do you want a partner? You might be a single Libra who's very happy where you're at. And in the recent past, you had something start that proved to be dishonest. And so you're like, you know what? I'm pretty good just running the show on my own. So it's very interesting. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck here. The bottom of the deck is interesting. It's the No card, the Creator. Again, this is unique to this tarot deck, has 2 extra cards, a yes and a no card. Mother Star is yes and the Creator is no. So when I see this No card, that says to me that your inner dialogue is not serving you. Your inner dialogue is not serving you. And look what's right behind that card at the bottom of the deck is Justice, which represents you, Libra. So you might need to relook at what you're thinking the truth is, because I feel like that's why you're seeing the Tower. Maybe you're going to be enlightened because, you see the same sort of truth energy here with the lightning in both cards. So whatever you're currently thinking might not be true. I think it could be you trying to balance things out, right? And to try to understand a situation in a way that makes sense to you, but it might not be the truth. Maybe this individual is not dishonest. Perhaps the dishonesty is the idea that you're lying to yourself, right? It's going to shift here depending on who's listening and what resonates for you. So take what resonates, don't force it. But it's interesting. You might have a misunderstanding in your mind based on the past with this person. You might be assuming things, Libra, which is interesting. Don't make any assumptions here. Check things out. Get some distance if you have to, but don't make any assumptions about this situation. I feel like this situation is not going to, it's not going to serve you if you make assumptions. You're going to need to move forward feeling really sure about this. No assumptions, high communication skills. We need communication here to understand things for what they really are, right? Okay, let's see, to close your reading, what message did you get? You got Archangel Gabriel 22. I invite Archangel Gabriel to bring hope and intuition into my life. Interesting. So this is a master number 22, which to me is all about union. When I see twos, I always think something's coming together. There's a new beginning. There's something forming, right? Something is going from being one-dimensional to two-dimensional. Something's going from being single to a pair. Do you know what I mean? And Archangel Gabriel is really the messenger and does speak to us through our intuition and brings us the idea. See, she's holding irises. I always associate this flower with death. Not physical death, but the death of something. And I feel like the death here is maybe you have to put the end to whatever is creating an illusion in your life. Like when I see this card and the Ace of Cups, they kind of make me have the same vibes, right? Which is a time for you to really be open to receiving messages through your senses, through your intuition, and to understand truth, to not move forward in illusion. You must move forward in truth, in knowing the truth and not making assumptions about the truth, but to truly understand what is in front of you here. It's a very interesting time for you of reflection, Libra. Reflection, rebirth, and releasing illusions and allowing the enlightenment to help you release those illusions, even if it involves destruction with that Tower card. But that your connection to the divine right now is strengthening your intuition. And so I feel like paying attention to your intuition is going to help you understand where this deception is. Is it self-deception, or is there deception from a partner? Interesting. I'm going to leave it at that for you, Libra. If this has resonated and you would like a personal reading, my email is in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and watching. And we'll see you again very soon for another reading. Sending you lots of love and light, my friends. Have a great week.